There we go. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. Oh, good morning. Good morning. It feels like the afternoon due to the early start. So apologies on behalf of Ariel. He unfortunately could not make it. He is currently in the more horizontal position, feeling very sorry for himself. So he asked me to come and take over his slot today. So my name is Kees de Vos. I'm a digital advisor at the Hammer team, and kicking off the ecosystem session today. So I'll tell you a little bit more about Hammer team and how we work with companies, with startups, some blockchain startups as well, and how we sort of like cultivate innovation and how we sort of like take companies from being startups to hopefully end up in the corporate world. So the Hammer team is actually based, it's the investment vehicle of Ariel Ludi. It's an incubator. It's based just down the road in Cham on a landmark estate called Hammer. Ariel's background, he originally was a stuntman. After his studies at ETH, he was a stuntman and decided after some very serious injuries that corporate life was really the way forward, and joined IBM at the time in a technical capacity, and then sort of like got on a streak of really kind of like fortunate moves. He joined then a relatively small company still in the 80s called Oracle, which obviously did very well. And from Oracle, in the e-commerce stages, he moved to Broadvision, which grew very quickly. Then was number 2 here for Salesforce in Europe, grew that. And then ended up being the CEO of Hybris, at that time a very, very small startup from Munich, and grew that business together with the founding team to a $1.5 billion exit when he was sold to SAP. And that obviously, is now paying for his estate and paying for all his, investments. But I think the important thing for Hammer team is that Hammer team is a community, is an ecosystem in itself. Hammer team is not just about providing money to startups to run their business. It's all about knowledge. It's all about connections and ecosystems within that within the Hammer team. We support about 20, just shy of 20 startups, from 1 man to 150 people, from no revenue to tens of millions of revenue. Mainly startups from Switzerland. Quite a few from ETH, come out of ETH, and then have a great idea, but then are struggling with what Ariel would refer to as the American side of the business, the sales, the marketing. As a Swiss business, and he said this yesterday on CNN as well, as a Swiss business, people are too modest. They don't shout enough about themselves. They don't shout enough about their ideas, about their vision of the world. And that's actually what we're trying to do at Hammer team, is to bring the great technology together and bring sort of like the other, maybe the more softer, the more commercial skills together in one, and really help companies grow. Part of these businesses are working with blockchain, of course, as a technology solution. And the company that I currently work with, a company called MobileBridge, are in the middle of an ICO as well. And the interesting thing, when you look at sort of like moving from startup to a corporate world, there is this time when you go and get funding. And actually, as the Hammer team, you get a lot of requests in. A lot of them are blockchain based. A lot of them want to do an ICO and say, like, let's do an ICO. But we have to realize, time and time again, and we have to share the news time and time again, that blockchain businesses indeed are exactly that. They are still businesses. Not enough businesses care about the broader picture. It's very much about the technology, and they say like, yeah, we're going to do technology, we're going to do blockchain, and we have like all of these really complicated stories around the blockchain, but then don't think about the fundamentals of the business. The times are gone that a blockchain business just launches a coin and says like, yeah, now we have a credible business model. It's like, it's not investable anymore. It's not of interest anymore. It's all about making sure that we assign and address a real business problem where mass adoption is really still a viable option. Think about solving problems that affect human beings. Think about solving problems that affect entire industry. It is more and more these days in the ICO world, in blockchain world, about building infrastructure, enable an ecosystem. Those are the projects that are of interest. Those are the projects that are currently most likely to succeed. As you put your company together, as you are putting your offer together, make sure that it's not just about the tech. It is really important that, funnily enough, it looks good, it feels good, it's accessible. You're going to talk to businesses, that are not blockchain-centric, that are not talking in the same language as you do. So make sure that you do. Make sure that it's accessible. Master the economics. Too many times talking to blockchain businesses is, unfortunately, when you start saying like, well, what are you going to do with the money? What is the money coming in? What is the money going out? You get a really sort of like blank stare. And that's, unfortunately, a really, really bad sign. The other thing, it's important to understand what you don't know. Driving home the blockchain positioning and driving home the blockchain story is great, but it's not what is going to make the business. Who are your people in your team? Do you have, of course you have technology covered 9 out of 10 times, but do you have legal covered? Do you have sales and marketing covered? Do you understand the broader problem of growing a business and rolling out a business? Make sure that you know what you don't know. Surround yourself with the right people that can help you with that. So for Hammer Team, what does that mean? How do we work with the companies that we support? On the one hand, it is all about teamwork. It is about an ecosystem, as I said to you earlier. It's about partnership. It's about community. When people sort of like talk to Hammer Team businesses, one of the first things that they say is it's all about being part of a family. This is super important. Hammer Team delivers experience, delivers skills, delivers knowledge, delivers capacity. Me, myself, I'm now a full-time CEO despite working for, Hammer Team. We deliver an environment where people work together. It is joint working, it is co-working. And not only is it then about saying like, hey guys, how are you doing? Is we actively jointly work together to solve common problems that we have. The sum of all of us together is stronger than one, and that is really, really powerful for the businesses in our group. And of course, outside of that, it is the larger ecosystem. It is Hammer Team enabling connections to all of those people in that ecosystem that you require to grow. I was just talking backstage to one of the other panel members about this as well. It is super important in this blockchain space that network, that ecosystem is powerful. You connect to each other. It is it's a set of jigsaw pieces. Lego pieces, Lego bricks that fit on top of each other. But in the blockchain space, we cannot exist without each other, without our ecosystem. So this is how we work together at Hammer Team. This is how we bring smaller business, smaller startups into the corporate world. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Kees, thank you so much.